St. Lucia, you better stand up. I need somebody in the comment section. If you're from St. Lucia, I need my bottle of the Chairman's Reserve so I can toast to Julian Alfred. A lovely performance. I hope you all got an opportunity to watch that race over and over again. On a wet night at the Stade de France, Julian Alfred delivered something special. You got to remember, I called it. I did call it. All my predictions said, watch Alfred. We'll talk about it tonight. But on a very serious note, we must start with the woman from St. Lucia. Something fantastic. We've never seen the like. First time in the history of our country. Instant national hero, I imagine. They better have everything open there when she lands in Castries, whenever. And it's a special occasion. Really love that she was able to deliver. And I call it. I keep telling you guys, a year with Coach Flo with no college season, she would have been hard to beat. And I really think that it's a special moment. We got to shout out, obviously, a number of people. It's your life tonight. Make sure you get your stuff in the comments because we're going to talk about it. Anything you want to talk about, we can preview tomorrow as well. Will the Caribbean be smiling again tomorrow? That's the big question. However, big shout out also to Thea Lafon. All year I've been saying she's been having a splendid season, great indoor, and it was lovely to see one big jump there, getting over 15 meters. Anytime you can go over 15 meters, you definitely know that you're in the mix for something. And she's definitely seized the moment. Shanika Ricketts as well. I mean, a great night there. We have to talk about Femke Bowl as well. Fantastic leg over the mixed 4x4. But, it's all about the 100 meters. That's what we're here for. I want to say something to ESPN as well. I was sitting, if you were on the watch along earlier today, there was a breaking news from ESPN. And I felt like it was a disrespectful way in which they should announce who won the 100-meter title. They didn't start off by saying Julian Alfred is the new fastest woman in the world, because the Americans love this, or the Olympic champion. They didn't say any of that stuff. They said Shacarri Richardson picked up silver. And this is not about Shacarri, and I know she has nothing to do with it, but they never gave the first breaking news to the woman of the moment. That's not how you do things. You got to do it differently. So anyway, fantastic. A lot of people here on the line. There's some comments coming in already. Let me get to a couple of them. Hermes Smith says, thank God, thank you, and thank our blessed country. I guess you're from St. Lucia for sure. Big, massive respect to people from St. Lucia. Keeping the 100-meter title in the Caribbean is interesting. Collective World says, I'm so proud Julian deserves it. It's especially from the Eastern Caribbean. It's been years since they won a medal. And kids with Kim Collins, it's a long time ago, world champion in the 2003 games there. No, big moment, especially when you think about what it takes to develop athletics, what it takes to have young people become superstars. It's not easy, and if you don't have the right structure, talent can go by the wayside. And I'm happy that this didn't happen, and she's a special talent, and she deserves everything. She deserves, hopefully that contract will be much bigger. Everything that is fitting of an Olympic champion, that's what you wanted to see. Alfred delivered. She showed out. She won the lift. It didn't matter. The conditions didn't matter to her. And I was really blown away by the performance there. And we have to just focus on the woman who delivered when it mattered. Chris, what's going on? You're in Australia. My best was 10:50 on grass in Australia. That was in 1973. I love the women's speed, but please let me on the podium. Yeah, it's different time, different era for sure. But yeah, it's a wonderful occasion there. I think Caribbean women did well tonight as well. And there's a lot of firsts, obviously, a lot of firsts. First for St. Lucia, first for Dominica as well. Shout out to my friend Laurel and all those people who are from that country. For them, that this should be a lovely moment for sure. Great to see Shanika Ricketts finally getting an Olympic medal. Missed out in the Tokyo Olympic Games. Big moment for her. big time season jump there as well. Big respect also must go to Rajendra Campbell from Jamaica, securing a bronze medal in the men's shot put. That's also a momentous occasion, first time happening. A Jamaican man has already won shot put many years ago at the World Championships. Fred, but at the Olympic Games, it's never happened, and so this is a special moment for the lad. And I want to talk about him as well. If you allow me. Yeah, I don't know him, but we've been following him since the last year or so when he broke onto the scene, getting over 22 meters, getting that Jamaica national record. The thing is, he had an interview. I think one of the journalists there in Paris interviewed him, and he kind of talked about his not so much of a support, right? Structure, especially, the kind of necessary things you would need or assistance. And, it's different how people get assistance. Clearly doesn't have a big contract or anything of the sort. Hopefully something comes through now. And imagine, he has to work another job and then still be an Olympian. And he came here and he delivered a big throw that got him to 22:15. Joe Kovacs at in the end also equaling that throw, eventually getting the silver medal on the fact that he had a next best throw that's better than Campbell. No one expected Campbell to be on the medal podium. Not in your wildest dreams when you look at the quality of the field there. You're talking about Ryan Krause, an injured Ryan Krause who, is already the GOAT, back to back at the Olympics again. And you're thinking about Joe Kovacs, Arthur Dahl. Those guys are big time throwers. And for me, Fabri, you think about Fabri from Italy, should have been on the medal podium if you were handing out medals before people throw. And so for the guy to get there at the biggest moment and deliver and do a big one, much credit to him. I do hope he picks up some sponsorship of various kinds, and that it will allow him to focus even more on the sport of track and field and not think about having to get a second job in order to pay his bills. And then maybe you might see something even better at the World Championships come next year in Tokyo. But that was a big moment. Let me go back to some comments. I think Robert was saying Campbell was about to quit. Yeah, in reference to him not probably thinking about a long-term thing in the sport. It wasn't a big throw, a big name coming out of Jamaica. Obviously, went to college in the States there, and look, now the guy is an Olympic medalist. Special moment. Yeah, special moment. But yeah, what are your thoughts on what happened today? I mean, are you surprised? People are talking about a lot of different things. I also want to, before we even go and break down the race, we'll get to all of that if we want to do that as well. A special shout out to Shelly-Ann Fraser Pryce. Was not able to get into the semifinal. She put out a statement. I don't know if we can get it up. If not, we'll look at it at another time. But she thanked everybody for their support. And it's unfortunate when you see someone of her stature not able to go out on the terms, on her terms, in the sense that she wasn't able to run. And so she puts out this and she says, "It is difficult for me to find the words to describe the depth of my disappointment. I know that my supporters share and shoulder the disappointment with me." And she goes on to say, "I'm truly blessed to have had the steadfast support of my fans since my Olympic debut in 2008. The support of my fans, my country, and the larger community has rooted me in immense gratitude that has sustained me throughout my career." And then she continues to say, "With every step and win, you all have been there for me. My faith has always affirmed my trust in my journey." And she closes by saying, thank you for continuing to be with me today and every day." And that is the statement that we got from Fraser Pryce. You never want to see it happen that way. But I did say before the Olympics, whatever happened here, it would never diminish her legacy. I don't think anybody is saying anything of ill will. It was a tough season for her, tough last couple of seasons with injury, and it's one of those things. She didn't get a chance to compete. From place to place is saying, I wonder if Paris was trying to sabotage Shacarri and Shelly. Interesting there. I think you're talking about them not getting a chance to enter the stadium when they wanted to enter the stadium. I think we may have a little clip of it if we want to kind of show it. Yeah, we have to hear more about that. We saw both Fraser Pryce and Shacarri Richardson also trying to get into the stadium, which they didn't allow her to do so. So here's a quick clip of it. If you want to take a look at it, then we can unpack it. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's probably going to open the gate faster.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes, no problem.
She said them changed the rule yesterday. Like,
Wasn't
how can you
announced?
change the rule and then not say it? So you're asking all the athletes who, for whatever reason, don't stay in the village, them can't come through the gate. We came through this gate yesterday and went through security and was okay. The man said we can't go over all the way up where everybody else are entering to come back down here. That's crazy.
Hey, what's happening there? What's happening over here now? Where are you?
Yeah, so that's pretty much the essence of it. And I think this was a video, I think maybe credit to the Jamaica Observer there or others. There's other videos of this happening. And they were denied entry at the exact point I think they entered the stadium previously. And hence, I mean, there's word that Shacarri didn't get a chance to warm up properly in the semifinal. I don't know. I haven't. If that's confirmed, maybe someone can confirm that as again. And in a situation like that, she just ran through. But I don't know. To answer your question from place to place, I don't know if that would be a big jump to think if someone was actually doing some form of a sabotage. I have no idea, to be honest with you. I wouldn't think so. I would say if you're going to change the protocol in terms of entry, then you probably would want to notify all the athletes. But I don't have enough information to actually think through this. I'll wait to hear from others there. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll get back to we'll get back to some more comments in a second. But yeah, just to finish off there, it was a fantastic race from Alfred. We could put it up again. Let's just put up we put up the final results just to look at it again. But I thought she was brilliant. Julian Alfred there, national record 10:72. The conditions, there was rainy conditions there at the Stade de France. Shacarri Richardson second did not have a good start. There's no question about it. But I'm honest. I have to be honest. I don't think anybody was catching Julian Alfred tonight. The way in which she ran. And special shout out to Melissa Jefferson because she found a way to get on the podium in 10:92. So the Americans go 2, 3, and 5. Daryl Nita just missing out. I think she has to be gutted with that she didn't get on the podium. But hopefully she'll come back stronger. But I think Daryl said she left it all out there on the track, and that's what you want to do. Titi Terry Munjinga Kambunji there, and Tia Clayton just didn't have enough to come back. A brilliant semifinal run by Clayton, but just not enough there. Her first Olympic Games at age 19 to make the final is a big deal. I suspect she will only improve from here. The future for her is extremely bright, and so that's a good thing. And a word on Marie Jose Talou, the Ivorian, a wonderful human being, a wonderful sprinter. It just didn't end the way she may have wanted it. And that's one of those things. It's a heartbreak for her. I know she probably wanted to leave it out on the track, and it just didn't come together. I missed out on so many opportunities to get medals, and that's how it goes. But she will be remembered as a great sprinter, and and a woman that hopefully is inspiring a generation of young girls and young boys in the Ivory Coast to take up sprinting. I mean, as a true champion. I'm not saying she's done yet. I anticipate she probably wouldn't do another Olympics. I don't know. Certainly, she could probably come back for a world championship next year in Tokyo. But you got to give special praise. You have to give Talu her flowers, and yeah, it didn't end the way. But that's sport. Sport is a hard thing. You work hard. You do everything right. And track and field in particular is also a very cruel sport in the sense that you just, if you don't have it on the right day, everything that you've done could go uh uh it just doesn't go your way. I'll get to your stuff there in a second, Chris. Robert said something. It's sad how some folks are speaking badly about Talu since we're on Talu. I don't really know why people look, people say stuff. Talu, I don't. She's okay. I mean, we can question things in terms of how execution went, but over the years. But tonight, it just wasn't. It wasn't to be. But she made it to the final, and that's it's important. I'm sure that's not what she wanted only, but that's how it works. Yeah. Chris had a comment here. Let me see if I can even think through this. The decathlon is spectacular and always has been. Daley Thompson, whoa, I was just a sprinter, but for the fun, I did decathlon. 1 year, I once jumped 6'4" in a pole vault. My friend jumped 6'5". The decathlon was good. I was surprised that in the end, if I'm being honest with you, I didn't anticipate the results we got there from the decathlon. A couple of obviously we didn't get the world record holder coming. Congratulations to Ruth from Norway, winning it in a national record. I thought that Leo Norgabor would have won, but he had some missteps there. Coming in second. Big shout out to Lyndon Victor, because he over the years has been an important figure in the multi events, and he suffered from different injuries as well. And also, this is history in the making too. First Olympic medal in the decathlon for Grenada at the Olympic Games. He has medals at the World Championships, but not at the Olympic Games. And to do a season best and find his way on the podium, especially in that 1500 meters at the end, holding off everybody else to make sure that he was there. Yeah, I mean, Daley Thompson's a great guy from back in the day, obviously, Chris. But Ruth in particular was interesting. I think Damien Warner, the defending champion, really didn't work out for him. Didn't have any marks in the pole vault, was it? And from that happened, it was all over. But it was good competition over the couple of days there for sure. I think there was a question. I'll get to some stuff tomorrow about tomorrow as well. Maurice is saying, "How are you doing, Maurice? Can you show the results of the second semifinal again?" Yeah, we can put that up for the women's 100 meters you're talking about. We get that up in a second, for sure. And while we're working on that, we'll get to another comment here. Collective World is saying, who do you think will win the men's 100 meters tomorrow? Well, I mean, in my preview, I had Kishane Thompson winning. I also said if Oblique Civil is fit and healthy, maybe a Jamaica 1-2 or a Jamaica 1-3 sandwiched by Noah Lyles. That's how I had my predictions. We'll get a better sense tomorrow. But there's so many people. I mean, let's see, Lizabogo could do something. He could run a blinder. You could have Fred Curley. I just don't know. I mean, you can. We'll see. We'll see. Let me get back to this. You wanted to see the results. So this was the results of the the second semifinal. So it had 1084 there for Alfred, and then it was 1089 for Richards, who, if what we were believing was true, she didn't have a proper warm up for the semifinal. I mean, she just ran okay. She ran well enough to qualify. Yeah, that's the result there. That's it was no one else came out of it because Kambunji and Kambunji. Yeah, who was it in the first? Yeah, in the first one, there was a couple of people on the bubble. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. So, ball in the game. Good to have you back on again. Leo had day 2 issues after a great day 1, like he did in Budapest last year. Needs to be addressed. No, I agree with you, and you had said something when we did the watch along about his size. Maybe you're right. He probably needs to lose some of that muscle mass if he's gonna have the energy takes actually to run better and to also have a better 1500-meter performance. But we'll see. Naya TV 758 St. Lucia to the world for sure. Much love to St. Lucia tonight. As I say, someone needs to send me a bottle of the Chairman's Reserve. Maybe St. Lucia Distilleries, may want to have a special blend for Julian Alfred. If you do that, invite me to the taste testing. We'll see. Where am I now? Did I miss any other things? No. Jazz is saying Noah Elias' performance in the qualifying round was not convincing. In my opinion, he almost did not advance. I think he would have advanced regardless, to be honest with you, because it was automatic top 3 would go through, and he was in that kind of a position. And if not, he probably would have gotten through on one of the. Yeah, he probably would have gotten through regardless. Here's what I think he admitted it. I did see the interview early this morning when he was talking to the NBC people, and he did say he underestimated the guys in the race a bit, and particularly, I guess he was talking about Maswangani and Louis Hincliffe. However, he should have known better, I would say. It's not like those guys are unknown. If you watch any of the sport, he would have known that those guys could put on a performance. Not quite clear what happened, but it's opening round. Things can happen. I suspect you should be in much better shape come tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Collective says, I really wanted Shelly to medal for 5th Olympics, but everything happens for a reason. Yeah, it's one of those things. Look, Shelly-Ann Fraser Pryce has amassed a career that, honestly, over the 100 meters in particular, we should also mention she has medals in 200 meters as well. But if we stick to the 100 meters, she has a career that is unlikely to be matched by anybody. She's in a special club of people going back to back at the Olympics. She was the 3rd woman ever to go back to back at the Olympics over 100 meters. Wyoming Tyus, Gail Devers, Fraser Pryce, then Kishane Thompson. She also has a bronze medal from the Olympics in Rio and a silver medal last time in Tokyo. So when it comes to Olympic 100-meter medals, there's nobody with more medals, man or woman, than Shelly-Ann Fraser Pryce. So that's super special there by itself. And then when you tag on the other 5 world championships, whatever happened here wouldn't even be a dent, right? Like, it doesn't even matter. So I think it would have been great to see her fight for a medal by advancing from the semifinal to the final. But yeah, as you said, things happen for a reason. It's just not one of those seasons. And yeah, it's tough. I don't know what they'll do. Maybe you'll see her again come next year in Tokyo, maybe not. Either way, we just need to recognize that we happen to live in an era where we saw the GOAT over the 100 meters, and you have to cherish that moment. I'll get to a lot of these comments. Thank you guys for doing it. Don't forget to like the video. If you haven't liked, we're just about 160 people on the live, only about 57 likes. So do me a favor and like the video. All in the Game is saying, love that mixed 4x4 final. Hope it encouraged other nations to put out stronger teams. Yeah, let's get back to the mixed 4x4 if we can get that back up. At the start of it, my question to everybody on the live when we were doing the watch along was how far you have to give a lead for Femke Bowl to be unable to take it down. That's the question I was asking. I was like, is it 10 meters? Is it 15 meters? What is it you're going to give if you want it to ensure that Femke doesn't destroy you? And by gosh, it's different class there. Different class. We'll break it down again. Just to answer the last part. Will it encourage other teams to put their best runners there? I don't know if it's a team situation when it comes to who ends up whether the decision is based on from the team perspective, all in the game. I think it comes down to the athlete themselves and their own prospect for as a medalist or a potential medalist or even making it to a major final. I think that's more important. Everyone goes in there from an individual standpoint. So the last thing you want to hear is, oh, I decided to run that 4x4 mixed relay and then I didn't make it to the final, or I didn't have enough legs or something like that. I think people will probably go around and think about it in that capacity. Maybe it's not really that clear cut, but I think that's where it is. I mean, as you were mentioning earlier too, it comes down to scheduling too for me. If you could figure out a better way to insert the mixed 4x4, then there's a possibility that you could get athletes, running it, right? But I just really don't know if that's a situation that will come about. Some people don't like the mixed 4x4, but I thought it delivered something special. But a word on Femke Bowl, because to do 47.93 is just a different situation. And I mean, I think Kaylin Brown did what, 49.14 on her leg. It's not a bad leg. It's a good leg for the youngster. Femke is just different class, and we should have known that Femke would have been this good. Femke have been blazing up indoor 400 meters the other day. In the Netherlands, she ran a great time. It was in Netherlands or Switzerland or someplace. She ran a great time over 400 meters. Then she found a way to go sub 51 over the 400-meter hurdles before the Olympic Games. You're looking at a woman in peak condition right now, and she just took her time and she just destroyed the field. It comes down a little bit to the Bryce Deadman situation, running a 44.70. I'm not quite sure that's good enough there. For me, he has to be going closer to 44 flat or even better. That probably is where they lost the relay, to be honest with you. I think all in the game, as a comment on this, I'm just now seeing it. Kaylin Brown did her job by running 0.3 quicker than her semi-split. Deadman ran 0.6 slower than his semi-split. Was the reason USA lost, as he didn't give Kaylin a big enough lead versus Femke. Yeah, I think it comes down to Bryce if we were to nitpick a bit, but it's one of those things. And they got a silver medal, so they should be happy that they're an Olympic medalist, but they would be disappointed that they, after running the world record the day before, they could not come back and do something even more spectacular. It's one of those things. All in the Game is also saying Amber and in 48.81 split. Oh yeah, that was a great split from Amber too, and she's one of those great runners too. I don't know what she'll do. Second best ever British woman. She still has the open 400 to go, like Nielsen, and who split 49s on the second leg. Yeah, it's interesting. I also think it comes down to what you want, right? In the end of the day, you want to have some medals around your neck. Maybe you take a calculation and say, I'll go run this 4x4 mix. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting though. Yeah. But shout out to the Netherlands, the United States, and Great Britain. Great Britain running a spectacular race there and making sure that they got a chance to get on the medal podium. All in the game is now saying would be great if all big three Jamaicans plus Julian Shacarri can go at it in the Tokyo World Championships. It would be. It would be fantastic. We'd love to see it one more time. I guess we'll wait to see what Shelly-Ann does. We also thinking that the big three may have a hard time come next year, even if they wanted to stick around, because you're getting another year of the Clayton twins. You suspect Tina should come on as well. Tia should go from strength to strength. Alana Reed, Brianna Liston, Kemba. Is Kemba gonna step up? A lot of people also want to write off Brianna Williams, but that will be a full year with John Smith and not a couple months. The same way we're talking about a full year with Coach Flo for Dina Asher-Smith might mean something different. It might be a hard thing for the big three to step on the track, even if they wanted to stick around. I suspect Sharika would be there once she's fully healthy. I guess it depends on whether Fraser Pryce is back to fitness and continues to have the drive and the motivation, which I don't doubt, to just do it one more time. The big question is the Elaine thing. Can she get healthy? Because until Elaine gets to a point where she is healthy and can do the training, I am not quite sure what will happen there. I also probably think it may end up being best for Elaine to stop doubling, if the injuries persist, if it's something you have to be managing. And how much can you manage something or rearrange your training in order to be competitive? So that would be an interesting situation there. I don't know. But I take your point there. It would be cool to see. Shacarri would be a year better. Yeah, but you never know. There could be new breakout athletes coming through for sure. Next year will be an interesting year. Yeah. James saying, let's talk about it. What are we talking about? Maybe I missed something. Dolly is saying, time for Shelly to bow out. Yeah, I think she'll do it on her own terms. I won't say anything about what Shelly should do. The one thing I always say is that when athletes start to beat you that can't beat you in your prime, that's usually a signal. In this case, it's more of an injury thing, so I leave that up to them. I suspect they'll reevaluate the career some way. Robert, I would like to see Femke and Sydney on the ankle leg in the 4x4. I don't know if the US will line up like that. I suspect US will line up with Sydney on second leg. That's usually, I think, potentially third. But who knows? Who knows? They could think about it differently. Femke for sure will anchor for the Dutch. Did that last year as well. But yeah, but it would be great to see Femke and Sydney on the same leg for the spectacle that it will be. Yeah. Where are we? James saying Shacarri is the queen. What happened to Shelly? Shelly, they're reporting injury. She couldn't go through, didn't start. Smash that like button, guys. Thanks for everything. Objectivity saying all in the game. I guess it's a response to All in the Game. It would be, if the big three were younger, it would be good for Julian, but that's like catching Ali at the end of his career. It's not a fair fight. And All in the Game says, still want to see it more. I like the Ali reference. Ali is such a great boxer. I mean, the greatest, probably. Definitely the greatest. Also, the guy that transcends the sport. Yeah, imagine in your prime giving up everything, losing all your titles. Yeah, if that never happened, and he had to box later on, it's one of those things. Brian is saying Shelly runs a consistent 1071 after 4 rounds. She missed out on Sharika. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. One of those things. I want to look at a positive here. I mean, I know she's disappointed. We have to just, shout out to Julian again and Shacarri and Jefferson. They got on the podium and they'll be having fun tonight. I haven't heard any interview from Shacarri, to be honest with you. I had gone to do something afterwards. Did she talk about her silver medal to NBC? Did anybody see what she said about that? I should have checked on that, to be honest with you. Yeah. I don't really know what she said in response to coming second. But no one was catching Julian tonight. That was something special. That was big lifting there. She was ready. And I want to say why I was a bit confident. Brian is saying something. Shacarri only won Worlds because the focus was on Shelly and Sharika. Shacarri can't take the lights. Okay, I hear you. I just want to say one thing why I felt like after the US Championships, I felt that I was really confident at that point in my head. I didn't probably say it enough on the channel until we did previews, but that's when I had a full turnaround and I felt like Julian Alfred was going to win at the Olympics. And I say that only because I looked at Shacarri at US Championships in the 200 meters and she didn't make the team. And I was anticipating that she would have the same way she did the year before. And I wondered if there was something in the background training that wasn't there 12 months before. And the inability to be getting to those, because I really honestly was thinking that she would have gone to the US National Championships and would have been able to do at least a 21.9 low or maybe even 21.8s. And when I saw that, I was like, I wonder if they didn't do enough work or she had some niggles that I just didn't mention. And why I'm saying that is when you take Alfred now, who is in a similar speed space, the variation is not off. And you look at her and you say, she's from St. Lucia. She won't need to get prepared for a national championship because none exists. She has no competition. She has a whole season off she has a full season as a professional athlete. I bet you every dollar I have when Coach Flo is writing that program, he's just looking at the Olympic Games as the target. There's no in between. We need to get you to peak at this point so you can run and qualify for your national championships. Straight line to the Olympics. And everything probably is built just like that. So when I saw that, I was like, if Shacarri isn't firing the way she is, and she had to, you have to come prepared no matter who you are at the US Championships. I was like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with Julian there. That's the reason I went there that early. I mean, it's not a lot of things to hang your hat on. It's just like a speculation because you don't really know details. But that's what I thought. And I just thought a fit Julian Alfred, would execute really powerful sprinter. and so she did. So I so when people were like giving me the hate, thinking I'm hating on Shacarri, because there's a lot of people are saying, "Oh, you're hating on Shacarri because you just don't want her to win." I'm not. I like Shacarri as an athlete. Any talented athlete out there, you have to like objectively, right? Like talented athlete all the way from we saw her at LSU days. It's not a big deal. Uh, obviously, I would love to see a Jamaican on the podium. That's where I was born. I mean, that's what I want to see. That's different situation. But it's not like I'm like, you want somebody to break a leg so your athlete can win. That's nonsense. So I just fear and squarely thought that this was the year for Julian. And, whatever she's drinking tonight, let us all take a sip. I'm suspect it's going to be water because she has to get ready for the 200 meters. But cheers to her. Let's see if I'm missing out any comments here. I'll get to your comments real quickly. Don't forget to put them in. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe. I think Chris was saying something. What is it? Australians relate very closely to the Caribbeans in sport and cricket, so we are sharing your success. Well done, St. Lucia. We have a suburb in Brisbane called St. Lucia, where our Queensland University is. Thanks for doing that, Chris. Yeah, next time, my joke is when I retire, I just want to go and follow West Indies cricket, which is not really going to give me any great joy, but at least I'll just go around and watch lots of stuff. I want to come to the WACA at some point as well. Mikul says she demolished the field. Well done. Yeah, definitely. It was no ifs, no buts. It wasn't close at all. Daylight between her and everybody else. Well done, Julian Alfred. Get Motivated said, congratulations. That's to Alfred. Objectivity say, you're right. Good point regarding Alfred. Thanks for saying that. Jazz, who's saving up money for LA 2028? Well, you better start saving money. If you haven't, it's going to be expensive. I plan to be there if everything goes well. Yeah. LA, I want to see it. I want to go there early enough. I want to start. I need to connect with some people to make sure I can see the stuff that they're doing. LA will try to flip a 1984 on you again. I think they're going to use a lot of the same spaces, right? If I'm not mistaken. There's going to be some new stuff, obviously, but it's going to be really interesting. Yeah. All in the game. The Shacarri Hive are the most sensitive people. There are also some Jamaican fans like that. Well, to be fair, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen them since she didn't win, and that's kind of a weird thing to do. I mean, because she got a medal, so I haven't seen them at all, to be honest with you. She got on the podium. It's not she did well for herself. She has a world championship title that she'll defend next year, regardless of what happens. She doesn't have to qualify out of USA National Championship, so she'll be in Japan as long as she's healthy. And she has an Olympic medal, and she's still young. So it's not like she's 29 going 30, and you wonder if she'll be back in time for LA. She has time on her hands to have another shot of it. But as they say, sometimes when you get the shot, you have to take it because you never know if anything is guaranteed, right? So who knows? Right now, the woman to beat is Julian Alfred, but we'll talk about that another time. Yeah. No, so really, really good stuff. What are we expecting tomorrow? Let me make sure I cover everything today. I wanted to make sure I shout out to the people in Dominica. National record again for Thea Lafon. 0.02. She had gone 15 meters earlier this year indoors. That was the world lead coming in. Ricketts for me, the 1487. You saw the emotion between Lafond and Ricketts I was very pleased for Ricketts because she wasn't having a great season when it comes to big jumps. And, 1487 into a headwind. Maybe if she got the win Jasmine Moore got, maybe it could have been a bigger jump. I don't think it would be good enough to beat Lafon, but she got a medal, and that's an important thing for her. Shout out to Jasmine Moore as well. Not quite sure what happened to the Cubans. I was really disappointed that in Perez Hernandez, because I think she was in the absence of a Yulimar Rojas. I thought she probably would have won, but it wasn't to be. And Akila Smith shout out to. I think she'll have more chance at it. But the women's triple jump still in good order, and for whatever we want to say, it was won by an athlete who went over 15 meters, and that means that you're in a big time big time jumping there. I will get to see what if Yulimar comes back next year. To come back from a ruptured Achilles and expect to get back to your very best is not always easy. I don't know if she'll ever get back to the heights of the big jumping, but I suspect they'll do their best. Yeah. Chris Brisbane 2032 All Caribbean, welcome to stay at my house. Thank you. You got to be careful when you say that, Chris, because a bunch of people will already start taking dibs on the room. Yeah, Brisbane in 2032. It's gonna be interesting. Got to come out and check on that. I want to see as it gets closer to the building of that Olympics. Will they be making new stadium? What are they gonna do? Should be interesting. Yeah. All right. So tomorrow is gonna be another special day. We can talk a little bit about it. And before we get off this live, I really thank everybody for joining me so far. It's been a great day. Tomorrow we'll start with the heats of the women's 200 meters, which just shows you how ridiculous this thing is. It just moves straight into the running. Talu is in the first heat. Julian Alfred is also in the first heat as well. Come tomorrow. It's just first three that will qualify as well. I'm just now looking at these things anyway. I didn't give a chance to look through it. Gabby Thomas is in heat number 2. Munjinga Kambunji as well. Naisha Berger from Jamaica. There's a few people there. Heat number 3 has Sharika Jackson, so we'll get a chance, in the morning session to see what Sharika Jackson can do at this Olympics and whether or not she's in any kind of shape to potentially challenge for a medal. We'll get an opportunity there. Daryl Nita is also in that heat. And what is it? Heat 4 has Mackenzie Long. I'm looking forward to her. She had a fabulous season this year in the NCAA, and tough times for her as well. So yeah, it should be interesting. Lanae Thomas is in heat number 5. Brittany Brown, who ran the race of her life at the U.S. National Championships too. Should be interesting. And Favor Feely gets a chance to run after the screw up by the Nigerian Association. Adeja Hodges there, that youngster. Dean Asher Smith as well. And Bas Bataille, who just missed out on getting into that Olympic final, is there as well. So yeah, we'll talk more about those. But we'll get the 200 meters on tap tomorrow early in the morning session. I guess the entire world might be looking to see what we'll get from Sharika Jackson. There's also qualification in men's long jump, heats of the 110-meter hurdles. That's going to be fireworks. We'll get an opportunity to see the big guns, Grant Holloway, all of those guys from the United States and elsewhere. We'll get into some of that if you want to talk more about that. Women's 400-meter hurdle is also in the morning session. So Sydney McLaughlin touches the track, Femke Bol again, all sort of madness. And then evening session, that's where we're anticipating everything should be. Waiting for that evening session. Yeah. Because we'll have a semifinal of the men's 100 meters. Yeah. And final of the 100 meters as well. I know we talked about it before, but what are we anticipating happening? Will the Americans get a title that they have not seen since Justin Gatlin in 2004? Will the Jamaicans get back on top of the podium, a title they haven't seen since the great man exit the scene at the Rio Olympic Games? It's going to be interesting. I already put it out there. I think it's going to be Kishane Thompson and everybody else will be running for a silver medal. That's how I'm looking at it. Definitely, that's how I'm looking at it. Chris is saying Gabby Thomas, sure thing. Yeah, Gabby should be fine. I hope she runs really well. I mean, you want to see all the people who have an opportunity of going far. She should be there. Yeah. You need that red stripe. Interesting. All right. Yeah, so that's what we have tomorrow for sure. The first semifinal, again, it's not going to be easy. It's the same as the women, first to get out of the semifinal into the finals. First semifinal features Oblique Seville. There's Noah Lyles as well. My guess is those two guys should go through automatically to the final. You never know what you'll get from a Hincliffe. He's been having a bumper year. Who knows? Maswangani could pull a flyer there. I don't know. Ali from Italy. You know, there's Feva Ashe as well from Nigeria. Yeah. Even Asmati could even do something, but I suspect it's going to be Lyles and Hincliffe for the Lyles rather and Oblique Seville for the automatic spots. That's where I'm going. In semifinal number 2, it's really sticky there. I'm going with Letsili Tobogo and Kenny Bednarak for the automatic spots. That means the Olympic champion isn't there, at least automatically, I don't think. Akeem Blake might be looking out. He'll have to run the race of his life if he wants to get into the final. But I have Kung Fu Kenny and Letsili Tobogo as the automatic spots there. And then in the final heat, it's Kishane Thompson for me. And this is where it gets sticky because you have Ferdinand Omanyala, you have Fred Curley, even Zarnell Hughes, who I don't think is at his best, given that he had an injury earlier this season. I don't know where to go here. Definitely Kishane for sure. I think I was going with Fred, but I wonder if Ferdinand Omanyala might get the automatic spot and Fred may have to look in. You know, I don't know. That's where I'm thinking right now. Yeah. King, what's giving you such confidence in us? Is it me or Chris you're referring to? Oh, Chris, you're saying Noah sub 9.7. I don't know. I think Noah can go sub 9.8. Sub 9.7 is a stretch for me, to be honest with you. Now, I'm not quite sure if that can happen, to be honest with you. We'll see. Yeah. Robert is saying something seems off with Tobogo. What do you mean by that? If you can explain some more. I mean, I thought he looked okay. I mean, I think he shut down in the first round. He looked across. I think he looked across. It looks visible to me that he kind of looked across. But I think he should be fine. I wouldn't worry so much about Letsili, to be honest with you, but if you can tell me why you think he looks off, then we can talk a little bit more about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's the big final on tap tomorrow, the men's 100 meters. Objectively said, Chris, you misspoke, right? Oh, yeah. I guess you're talking in reference to Noah. Yeah, I can't see. Again, I was until I've seen something different. I will always remind everyone that 9.6. It's only two men have gone 9.6, except the great man, right? So it's Johan Blake and Tyson Gay 9.69. The great man has done it, obviously, on a number of occasions, and the world record, the 9.58. Those it feels like rarefied air for me, to be honest with you. Yeah, and so that's why I don't know, and I don't know if the conditions will allow for that to happen. I'm pretty sure that Noah Lyles, if we assume what the run he did in the London Olympic Stadium at the Diamond League is indicative of form, then I think he definitely could go below 9.8. But how much faster than that is yet to be seen. I just don't know. King is saying, I don't think Lyles will medal. I think it goes Thompson, Seville, Curley, or Bednarek in the final. I could see that too. I could see that. I think Kung Fu Kenny could do something. Curley, he's been running some big races recently too. So, yeah. Robert is saying, I haven't seen him hit top speed in a while. This is in reference to Letsili Tobogo. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, tomorrow we'll know for sure. Yeah, I could understand where you're coming from. I just feel like he has a lot left in the tank and he's not leading us on until it matters. But it will matter tomorrow, so that would be our first indication, potentially in the semi and then into the final. Chris is saying, because I was an elite sprinter in my youth, I recognize the posture Elias carries himself like a winner, and it's all mentality, really. Yeah, he's definitely a confident lad. He never backs down from a chat. That's Elias for you. And objectivity says, trust me, he meant 9.8. Yeah. And Chris is saying he's foxing on his way to the final. Yeah. So interesting. All right, guys, it's been a great night to come back and just chat with you guys. Tomorrow should be fantastic. We'll get the 100 meters out of the way. We'll crown a new. I suspect, unless Marcel Jacobs has something to do with this, we'll be crowning a new Olympic champion, most certainly tomorrow. And for many across the world, they're thinking it's either gonna go to the guys in America or someone in Jamaica that will come and do it. But you never know. If someone else could spring a surprise. At this moment, I'm not seeing it. As I said, I could see a Jamaica 1-2 if Oblique Seville gets two good races together. But we'll have to wait for that. I get one more comment here and then we'll get out. I think it's false confidence. I think he will get around some real ones and crack under the pressure. Interesting. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow to do a little roundup of the morning session, and then we'll watch along for the evening session, and hopefully we'll end with a great weekend of what is a great start to the track and field portion. Again, shout out to Julian Alfred. She's been spectacular. She delivered for a nation that is very small. The population is quite small, but a proud nation. And all my St. Lucian people, big up. And, you know, you must be happy with what Julian did. Also, special shout out to the tiny island of Dominica, Tierra Fun. Massive, massive stuff. Yeah. It's been my pleasure. I'll get to see you guys tomorrow. Take care.